Hello, everybody. Um, I'm going to see what I'm going to do here. I have a couple different directions. I'm going to start with this. And it was just because we had such a profound Zoom room after the recording last time on Saturday. And for you YouTubers that weren't present, I wanted to kind of give you a quickie on what we talked about and the homework that I gave my Zoom roomers, and I wanted to give it to those watching this YouTube as well, because I really feel like this is the power, okay? This is the power of our minds, and we've got to start using them because God only knows we're using them, but we're using them out of habit, and that's not such a good thing. It's time to start using them for the good of everybody. And then a message came in on one of the YouTubes. I guess I'll start with that. It was a response from someone in YouTube land. Thank you for joining us, YouTube land. And we'll start with that, and then I'll move into the homework that I gave to our private Zoom room on Saturday, because I feel like everyone can benefit from doing the homework. But this response, which was fabulous, well written. Okay, I'll just start in. Okay. It's like if I look at myself in the mirror and I see that my skin is dry, a judgment, and then I go up to someone and complain, a judgment, to them about how dry my skin is, they can see it and they'll be like, yeah, I see that. That's pretty dry, a judgment. You should use some moisturizer. Another person overhearing the conversation might look and suggest that I have eczema, a judgment, while remembering that their cousin had it, again, in the past. Another might take a closer look and see a little red and suggest it might even be skin cancer, a judgment. So in all of this, after just thinking my skin was dry at first and presenting it to people, first with my comments about it, has now turned into something huge. This is what agreement gets us, okay? Agreeing to anything, this is what it gets us. I planted one tiny ass seed and got all this crap on my mind now. I love that. I entered in with my mind and thoughts about it, but now I not only walk away with my thoughts, but I now have everyone else's on top of it. I was dry at first, so I was given an entire collection of skincare products, but now I might also have eczema and skin cancer. This, I couldn't have written it better. This is what agreement gets us, okay? This is exactly how it works and how it builds and keeps building and keeps building. Until then, we have a nightmare in our minds. Our minds are cluttered with all these potentialities of what a little dry skin was. So my suggestion is, if you look at yourself in the mirror and see that your skin is dry, put on moisturizer and stop there. Anything, I mean, it's the complaints. Complaints are judgments. So when we complain to and I see this around here all the time, living in community, you really get a chance to really see this stuff. People love adding their opinions. Any opinion is a judgment. What does Jesus say about judgments? Forgive them. Just forgive them and move on. But now the homework that I gave to the private Zoomer group after last session takes it to the next step. Because really, the whole process of mind training is to uncover the beliefs that are holding the complaints or observations or whatever in place. So the homework was, and this is a real simple one. I'm just going to give it real simplistically, and then we can build on it if we need to from there. The rule of thumb, and this is A Course in Miracles, the only real question to ask yourself, are you happy? And you have one or two answers, yes or no. Let's keep it real simple. I want to keep this as very, very simple. Now, if it's a yes, I'm happy, stop immediately and continue on with whatever you're doing. No mind training is needing right now, okay? Now, the trick is to answer honestly. And most people don't like answering honestly, and they'll devise all kinds of ways. Well, I'm a little confused today, but I'm okay. I'm fine, which is usually not okay, not happy. I mean, really getting honest. Are you happy? And if you're not, it's okay to say, no, I'm not happy. And that's the first step in mind training, is getting honest. Got to get honest. So, okay, so you're not happy. All right. What aren't you happy about? And there's usually some, cloud of conversations in your mind. It could be with a friend or a partner, and they tend to go as clouds. They're not usually one thought. They don't come up with, oh, my partner is just not being loving. Okay. A great thought, but that's usually not the only thought that goes around in our heads. It's a collective of thoughts. My partner is not loving. My partner is angry all the time. My partner yells at me. I hate my partner. I want time away from my partner. This is the cloud of thoughts. And this is where you're going to spend some time, because it's why you're not happy. You asked yourself, are you happy? And then you have these clouds of thoughts. And then it's to sit with the clouds and get to the source of it. And this was the homework assignment for the Zoom room this last time, was to sit with, why am I not happy? Now, some people in the Zoom room answered, because I'm unworthy. No, that's bullshit. That's way too nice. That's not the way it really is. Okay. We want to look good. And by saying, oh, I'm so unworthy, guess what? You usually get a lot of agreement. Oh, honey, you're not unworthy. You're the most worthy person. We're just looking for positive affirmation. That's not what we're going for. We want to get to the core belief. Well, I'm not happy because my partner doesn't love me. Okay, well, that's a start. But then you have to go with, what's the fear related to your partner not loving you? Because see, here's the deal. You're the Christ. And this is Jesus talking from A Course in Miracles. If you're the Christ, you could care less whether people love you or not. That's not the game. That's not why we're here. Okay? So we have to get much deeper. Okay, my partner doesn't love me. What's the fear? Am I not lovable? Well, that's a good start. Now, why would you be unlovable? Well, I've put on a couple pounds from, when we were married, and maybe that's not okay. Okay, now we're getting closer to a belief. You're not good enough. Why? Because I put on a couple pounds. Okay, what's the fear? Well, I don't like putting on weight. I'd rather be, at a certain weight. I do better. Okay, but what's the fear of putting on weight? Well, because I just don't think it's attractive, and I don't feel like I feel as good. And this is the inquiry. This is the inquiry into looking for your belief. And it can go on and on. And you keep asking yourself, no, what's the fear? So if you answer yourself, well, I'm confused. Well, what's the fear? Well, I'm confused. The fear is that I may be losing my mind. Okay, that's getting closer. What's the fear? See, because God doesn't care if you lose your mind or not. God doesn't care. God just loves. So you've got to get down to, I fear I'm losing my mind. And then people have to take care of me, and I can't help anybody else. And these are times you write lists, because it's not usually one simple thing. There's lists. And if you're asking the question, what is my fear? And you're only getting one thing, not it. Keep going. What am I fearing? What am I fearing? Because if you're not happy, you're fearing something. It can't be any other way. It's love or fear. And if you're not happy, you're not loving. You're fearing. And then you have to go on, I call it contemplation, call it whatever you like. But that means it's time for me to go do some work. Because again, and if you're listening to this and you're a book studier, that's fine, but this is not book study. I tell people I work with, put your books down. It can't be found in there. It's in your mind. That's where the source of all suffering is. That's the source of all not happy, is in your mind. And you cannot read a book or go to a guru and have them tell you what's going on. We've got to do this ourselves. That's the only way. It's a solo journey in our minds. And so we have to be the ones to challenge it. And the main question is, am I happy? When I was diagnosed with terminal cancer, it was probably the first time in my life I could answer the question, am I happy? Honestly. Am I happy? No, I'm not happy. There's nothing about this that makes me happy. Great. We've got a place to start. Because I had a lot of beliefs. I had a lot of opinions. Oh my God. I wanted to change the world. And that was not helpful, because it kept me out in the horizontal. It kept me trying to change the horizontal rather than the only thing I can change is my mind. This is Jesus. This is A Course in Miracles. This is what Jesus says. The only thing you can change is your mind. You can't change form. You can change your mind. So if I'm seeing, oh, my partner just doesn't love me, guess what would be most helpful? My partner loves me. Now, you may be seeing in the horizontal that they're cheating on you and they've got all this other stuff going on. Now, there's probably some conversations that need to be had. But the reality is you have to change your mind. And you have to come up, with partnerships. You've got to go deep, because you're only getting what you're giving. So if your partner is not looking like they love you, guess who is not looking like they love you? The buck always stops in our mind. There is no other mind. There is no other mind. You know, it's like this comment that I read from the YouTube. You know, it starts like you look in the mirror and you see a patch of dry skin. That's my mind. And quite frankly, what I've started, I don't see any problems ever. And that may be good or bad in certain worlds, but for me, it's the best way to be. And then I put lotion on it, don't put lotion on it, it doesn't matter. Because I just need to see it as, oh, it's okay. I mean, I was a doctor, so I always saw cancer. And unfortunately, if you're going to a doctor, guess what? That's what they're going to see. You know, everything leads to cancer. It's like, ay, 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 ay. We are not harbingers of good news usually. You know, for me, stepping on the scale, I knew it was not going to be a positive comment. So at some point in that whole process, while I was still seeing doctors, I said, look, I'm going to step on the scale. You read it. I'm going to close my eyes. Tell me when to get off, and you keep that your little secret, because I'm not interested. And I certainly am not interested in your opinion about it. But that was the beginning of the end of going to any doctor. You know, because why would you go to a doctor if you didn't want their opinion? Why would you go to any doctor unless you feared something? I'm giving it to you straight. You may not agree with me, and that's fine. You know, are you happy? And if you are, keep making me wrong. I'm fine with that. I don't care. All right. So the homework for YouTubers is going to be the same homework that I gave the Zoomers. Pick something that doesn't make you happy. And then ask, what is the fear? And this is, I want you to write. The more pages you can write, the better. If you're just writing, oh, I'm so unworthy. No. Zen stick comes out. No. You have to get much deeper. This is not about looking good. This is just between you and you. No one, you care. And that's the problem, because that's what's keeping you from being real honest with yourself. The more honest you can be with these questions, the better off you are going to be. Because I don't care. I love, but I don't care. God. Oh God, the deeper I go in this. So with that being said, that YouTubers, that's your homework for now. Go in and decide, are you happy? Yes or no? And if you're answering the question, I am happy, except when you're not happy, okay? Then you write down, except when what? And then you write down whatever, except when my partner cheats on me. Okay, let's work on that. What do you fear with your partner cheating on you? Because there's a belief there. And the beliefs are what keep us stuck in mind and suffering. So we've got to root out every single belief. And believe me, there are a lot of them. You know, there was someone here in Namaste, and this is a while back, and I know her process, and I know she's doing the mind training. And she came up to me at one point, and she took both of my arms in her hands, and she had this really intense look in her face. And she said, I hate everybody. And I started laughing immediately and said, great. Because if you can see that, then you're going to start to be able to heal it with forgiveness. But if you're just denying that you're unhappy, you're going no place fast. And that was my experience. You know, I I was not happy, probably from birth. But I can talk to the adult part of me. Well, I would get, for me, this is my script. I would buy another animal, you know? I loved animals. I would get another horse, I'd buy some chickens, you know, I'd do something to make me happy. And it would last for, oh, maybe a day or two. And then I'd start complaining, oh my God, my animal feed bill is out the wazoo. And then we're off and running with more suffering. Okay. I find the more stuff you have, the more suffering you have. That's kind of my little rule of thumb. The more stuff you have, the more suffering you have. Because I was just talking to someone here in Namaste about this. We accumulate stuff like an addict collects drugs. Okay. And this woman, she had just moved down here, and so she got rid of everything. And that's always good news. Get rid of everything. You know that box of old photos that you have in the closet that you haven't looked at for the past 5 years? Throw it out. Don't even open it. Just throw it out or give it to, you know, this is where children are handled. Give it to a child. But most of them don't want it either. So throw it out. You know, she was talking about how her mind is so relaxed. She sold her little place up in North Carolina and she gave everything away and she moved down here. And she said, I remember you saying that your mind gets so quiet when you get rid of everything. And I said, I know, because you don't even think that you're holding space in your mind to take care of all this stuff that you own. And it's not necessary, really. Peace is really getting rid of all of it. You know, I have a dear friend that keeps sending me little advertisements of places for rent here in Ajijic. And I laugh every time I do. I have one room. It's 8 by 10, something like that. I don't want any more room. Why would I want more room? To put more stuff in? I mean, we're collectors, we're addicts. And we learned how to be addicts from an early age. You know, I loved horses. So what did everyone buy me? Horse this, horse that, horse. My entire room growing up was filled with horse stuff. And it was like, man, I don't need any more horse stuff. I want to be happy. And getting a gift of more stuff isn't making me happy. All right. And these are all contemplation ideas. Well, I like having presents. Well, what's the fear if you don't get presents? What's the fear? Well, they don't like me enough. Or, well, it's my birthday. Don't they know it's my birthday and that's a special day and we should celebrate and I should at least get a card? What's the fear? You're going to be forgotten. Okay, no problemo. What's the fear of being remembered? You know, this is a game. This is a gigantic game. And it keeps getting deeper and deeper and deeper as long as I stay honest with myself. So I invite all of you to really get honest. And are you happy? Yes or no? Okay. All right, we're going to say goodbye to all our YouTube friends. Goodbye, all you YouTube friends. And now we'll go into a little quiet room with our Zoomers. Hang on.